Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today, live reacting the Knicks game. It's about 9:30 at night. Knicks just played the Pistons, but before I get into it, let's hit that intro.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic.
All right, welcome back again. Another solo pod by myself. I feel pretty confident in doing these, and I didn't really want to miss the opportunity to live react to this game. Man, what a fucking game. Josh Hart did not have a very good game. At least in the first half, I would say he didn't have a very good game. Mikal Bridges, tough game for him. Tough first playoff game for him as a Knick. Man, Knicks, they tried 5 first-round picks, and they have a few pick swaps to go along with that trade with the Nets. And if you're the Knicks, man, you're trading for Mikal Bridges, you're trading for OG Anunoby. Those are your two guards / forwards. Like, those are your big wing stoppers. You pair those two guys with offensive, captain, guru, whatever you want to call him, like Jalen Brunson, and then you pair him up with a huge stretch 5 center, probably top 3 center in the NBA with Karl-Anthony Towns, and that should be a good recipe to win. But when Mikal Bridges doesn't show up, the Knicks are going to play how they played in the first half. So Knicks go into halftime. I want to pull this up, kind of pulling this up while also doing this live. So the Knicks, I believe it was tied at halftime. No, the Knicks were up 2 points at half. So Knicks were up 2 points at half. They ended the first quarter tied. Second quarter, the score was 57 to, right? Yeah. 57 to 56. 55. Yeah, 55. So they go into the halftime with a lead, but I kind of called it on the last episode where I was saying, hey, Josh Hart, it's going to be I'm obviously going to be extremely curious to how they guard him. And I said, hey, I really think that they're going to put their center on Josh Hart and dare him to shoot. And Josh Hart, he did not shoot. So let's pull up Josh Hart's stats for this game. Wish I could find a split for the first half and second half. But Josh Hart, he shot 6 of 10. So he shot a lot of layups that second half, a lot in the fourth quarter. He probably had 4 to 5 layups in that fourth quarter, but he was not shooting a 3. So he went 1 of 1 from the 3-point line. Knicks as a team, they shot pretty bad from the 3. Knicks shot from the 3, 38%. Pistons shot 46% from the 3. So Pistons made 15 threes. Knicks made 10. That doesn't really matter. That's really not what the Knicks kind of play style is. There was a bunch of lead changes in this game. The Pistons had a total of 21 turnovers. Knicks had a total of 11. Pistons, they had a lead going into the going into the fourth quarter. Their largest lead was 9, and then towards the end of the game, the Knicks kind of pulled away, and they were up as much as 13 points. But I know I kind of got a little carried away there, but let's go back to what I have for the notes. So Josh Hart gets in foul trouble in the first half. First guy that comes off the bench, Landry Shamet. I think he had 2 stints out there. Didn't play very well. I don't think he saw any minutes. I know he didn't see any minutes in the fourth quarter, but I don't think he really saw any minutes in that third quarter as well. Tobias Harris and OG Anunoby, they had huge first halves. Tobias Harris, I believe, had 17 points. OG Anunoby, I think he had 17, if not 28 points going to that first half. I'll pull up their stats for the game. So OG Anunoby for the game, he had 23 points. So he really didn't score a lot in that second half. But Tobias Harris, he had 25 points. Again, he, I believe, had 17 points for that first half. So neither of them really scored too much in the second half. Man, Dennis Schroeder, he looked really good. He came off the bench. He had a lot of energy. I really think for the Pistons, it was big for guys like Tobias Harris, for Tim Hardaway Jr., for Dennis Schroeder to have big games because those guys are veterans. And I'm sorry, I want to throw Malik Beasley into that as well, but those guys are veterans, and you could really see the look in some of those younger players' eyes that they were not ready for their first road game, their first playoff road game, I should say. But Asar Thompson, 10 points. Jalen Duren, 7 points. Ron Holland didn't play a lot, but no points. Isaiah Stewart, he played a fair amount. He only had 2 points. Asar Thompson, I might have already said it off the top, but 10 points. But you could really see in Asar Thompson's eyes that he didn't seem very confident. It looked like the moment was a little bit too big for him, but like I said, he's a rookie. Or I'm sorry, no, he's a second-year player. He's a young player. I think as the series progresses, that I don't think that he's really going to have that big of an issue, especially when they're playing Game 3 and Game 4 at home in Detroit. Let's pick it up, though, in the third quarter. So Jalen Brunson, he re-injures his ankle in the third quarter. He leaves the game. That shit sucks. Richard Jefferson was saying on the broadcast that he thought that it was just like a misstep, and it didn't really look like he stepped on anyone's foot. Didn't look like anyone stepped on his foot. Just looked like a strength thing where he was out for a month. Then he played a bunch of minutes on it, so he was trying to just get that strength back and that ankle of his. But Cade Cunningham, I thought he looked a lot better in that second half. He definitely looked more comfortable for sure. OJ Anunoby really locked him up in that first half. And that second half, you could tell in the pick and rolls, especially where they would call Karl Anthony Towns up for the pick and roll. I'm sorry, they would call Jalen Duren, and Cat would follow him up for the pick and roll. But where Karl Anthony Towns would go up and he would kind of get lost, and Cade would either just spin out of it, or it's just an easy, shot, or it's just an easy roll to the rim. So right when that happened, Tibbs put in Mitchell Robinson, and he had a few big blocks. But yeah, Tibbs' rotations in the first half were absolutely fucking killing me. It's a playoffs, man. You're one of the oldest NBA coaches, that this league currently has. I think it's him and man, I'm blanking right now. Coach Popovich, Spurs. But anyways, his rotations were killing me. His lack of adjustments all season long has been killing me. It's a playoffs, man. If you have, one possession left at the end of a quarter, you have to put your offensive players in the fucking game. It doesn't matter if someone has 2 or 3 fouls. They're veterans. You have to trust them. So if you have 30 seconds left at the end of the first quarter, you got to put Karl Anthony Towns in the game. I don't care. Like, call a timeout, burn a timeout. You can't bring him into the second half with you. Call a timeout, put your offensive player out there in the game, and see what happens. You can't be rolling out these lineups with Shamet and Cameron Payne to end a quarter. Like, every possession in the playoffs matter. And that's something that I thought JB Bickerstaff did a really good job of this game, and that Coach Thibodeau did not do. And it was very fucking obvious. Very fucking obvious. So I really hope the Knicks win the series, but if they don't win the series, I'm sorry, Tibbs is definitely getting fired. And this is like very clear cut, like, hey, dude, you're 68 years old. Obviously, you're not making the adjustments that you need to make, but positive. Let's say positive here. The Knicks just won a game. I want to go one more negative. I don't think Mikal Bridges did shit in this game, and I kind of talked about it off the top a little bit, but he didn't do. Let me pull up the numbers just so it doesn't look like I'm talking out my ass. Mikal Bridges, so he played a total of 29 minutes in this game. He had 8 points. He went 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. No free throws. He went 4 of 9 from the field. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. So the blocks were big. He had no turnovers, 3 fouls. Now, this is something that I personally noticed during that run that they went the end of the third and then also in the fourth quarter too. Mikal Bridges was not out there. He was not out there. Cameron Payne was out there. Jalen Brunson was out there. When Jalen Brunson got hurt, who got sent out? Miles McBride. Mikal Bridges was not in that game. So Mikal Bridges is the only Nick in the starting lineup to have a negative plus minus. So I'll just go from the top to the bottom. Mikal Bridges, negative 16. OG Anunoby, plus 10. Karl-Anthony Towns, plus 22. Jalen Brunson, plus 2. Josh Hart, plus 20. Even the people coming off the bench. So Mitchell Robinson, he was minus 9. But Cameron Payne, plus 23. Miles McBride, plus 9. Like, it is very cut and clear. Miles McBride, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling on my words a little bit, but Mikal Bridges, he's not taking these shots. And that third quarter, Josh Hart and Miles, oh man, I keep on mixing them up. And that third quarter, Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, when they're in that game, they're catching the ball off of a screen and they're putting their head down, they're dribbling towards the rim. And what happens? Hot potato, they just pass the ball back to each other. Okay, now Mikal Bridges, he puts his head down, dribbles towards the rim. Oh shit, I don't have a clear shot. Let me go throw it to someone else. It's like, dude, you have to take the shots, man. You're a fucking shooting guard. The reason why you're out there is to play lockdown defense and to shoot the ball. And it was so fucking noticeable when he got pulled out and they put Cameron Payne in the game that he had so much energy that he brought at the end of the third quarter and then that fourth quarter run. So when the Knicks go on that fourth quarter run, and I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but like, this is some shit that I'm passionate about because Mikal Bridges all season long has been very irritating. And I really miss that team from last year because I felt like they had energy 24/7. Didn't matter who was on the court. Like, they had that Knicks, that grit. You come into the paint, like, we're going to fuck you up. We're not going to be afraid to take 3-point shots because we're grabbing the rebound. That is not the Knicks forte. That is not what they've been winning games off of this season. It's just been pure talent. But to go back to my point though, Knicks, so they go on a 21-0 run from the 9-minute mark to the 4:30-minute mark. And they're playing a 3-guard lineup. So they're playing Miles McBride, playing Jalen Brunson, and they're playing Cameron Payne. There was no Mikal Bridges in that game. Mikal Bridges didn't get reinserted into that game with about 2 minutes left. And even at that, I know it was for defensive purposes, but it's like, dude, you really weren't doing too much. It's tough, man. I'm definitely glad that Thibodeau, the end of that third and then in that fourth quarter, he finally stopped being so stubborn and he pulled Mikal Bridges out of that game because the Knicks were down. Let me pull up the exact number so I'm not talking straight on my ass here. Knicks were down 9. Knicks were down 9. And they go on a 40-21 run to end the fourth quarter. They're down 9. Like, most of that was done without Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges got reinserted into the game with 2 minutes left. And I'd say the last, 40 seconds, which is garbage time. So it's tough, man. I want to stay positive here. It's only game 1. Obviously, the Knicks win, so I should be happy. And I am happy, don't get me wrong. But the Mikal Bridges experiment, the season, has been extremely frustrating. The Knicks traded 5 first-round picks. They had all these swaps. It doesn't seem like it's working out. The Josh Hart today was not the Josh Hart that we've seen the last 2 years. He was fouling. He wasn't willing to take shots. It wasn't until the Knicks put out that double big lineup where the Knicks start to make that little comeback where they put Mitchell Robinson in the game along with Karl-Anthony Towns. Towns had, I think 12 points in the second quarter. But like I said, want to stay positive, want to keep it positive. Let's talk about the other games. So I'm at 12 minutes right now. So let's talk about the other games because I watched them. All right. So the Bucks Pacers, man. I know I didn't do a playoff prediction for every series, but I was telling Sean, unfortunately, dude, I think that the Pacers are going to win this in 5. Just like last season, I know that they didn't have Giannis, but I really do feel like that the Pacers are that run and gun team. You really don't want to face them in the playoffs. That playoff atmosphere in Indy is real. Uh, it's a crazy atmosphere. Those guys came ready to play, and those guys are deep. So Giannis had an insane game. He had 36 points, he had 12 rebounds, and he had one assist. His free throws were a little atrocious. He went 8 of 15. Obviously, everyone knows when Giannis is at the line, if he's on the road, that the team is just going to, have a 10-second countdown and just get in his head. But that was very noticeable today. I thought that Gary Trent Jr. off the bench and I thought AJ Green off the bench looked pretty solid, but everyone else not too good. For the Pacers, Pascal Siakam 25 points, Nemhart had 17, Miles Turner had 19, Tyrese Halliburton had 10. I'm not going to say anything about Tyrese Halliburton. I will in a future episode, but I'm not the biggest Tyrese Halliburton fan. So that game, I thought was pretty obvious that the Pacers were going to win. Dame Lillard might come back game 2 or game 3. Let's see. He hasn't played in about a month, so just keep in mind that he had the blood clots. Now he hasn't played in a month. He has to get up to game shape, readiness. So even when he comes back, is he going to be Dame? Now he's 36, 37. So I'm just going to be curious what type of Dame Lillard we see. But let's go to the Clippers Nuggets game. So Clippers sell. They were up a lot of that game. The Nuggets go on a run to end the first half. I went out to go grab some food and I came back and I was like, what the hell? The Nuggets were only up. I'm sorry, the Nuggets were down 2 at half when I left. I think the Clippers were up double digits. So Kawhi Leonard has 22 points. He looked really good. They were doing a very good job of staggering his minutes along with James Harden. So James Harden, he had 32 points. Zubac, he had 21 points. He had 13 rebounds. He looked really good. Then I thought Chris Dunn looked really good too. Yeah, I think his biggest problem in the NBA has just been being able to shoot the ball. So I think there's been no question how good of a defender he's been in his career. It's just really just his height and then his willingness to shoot the ball. But he did a really good job today. The Nuggets, they have that crazy comeback in the fourth quarter. So Aaron Gordon had 25 points. Jokic, he had 29, 12 assists, nine rebounds. So he just missed a triple-double. Murray, he had a few really big shots at the end of the game. So he had 21 points. And Russell Westbrook, he had that really big 3 at the end of the game that either put them up or tied it. I can't really remember. I have this Knicks game kind of on my mind right now, but yeah, Nuggets come back at home. They steal this game. I thought it was a pretty good game. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the end of it just because the Clippers Nuggets game kind of ran into that Knicks game, and I had to switch over to ESPN2 while this game stayed on ESPN1. So kind of went over the Bucks game, we went over the Clippers game, went over the Knicks Pistons game, and the Lakers Timberwolves game is currently going on. When I started recording this, the Lakers were up 10, and now they're down 10. So I'm not really going to be able to react to this because I'm not watching it, but Jaden McDaniels has 14 points. Naz Reid off the bench, 13. Luka Doncic, 16 points, of course. LeBron, only 3 points. So wonder what they're shooting. There's got to be a lot of missed shots or turnovers here. Lakers are shooting 35% from the 2. That's why. They're getting out rebounded. They don't have a lot of assists or turnovers. Yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, I'm not watching that game. I'm talking to you guys. So that's pretty much it. I know I was a little bit negative. The Knicks won a game. I should be happy. But the Mikal Bridges experience this season has just been really frustrating. But that's it, guys. Appreciate everyone who watches. If you want to hop on and talk basketball, hit me up. because I want to be doing a bunch of episodes throughout the week. I was trying to do about 2 a week, but I really want to try doing 3 or 4. And also, I made an Instagram and a TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok, but I made an Instagram and TikTok. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it is, hold on, I don't want to misquote this. Um, on Instagram, it's at the underscore bromance underscore pod. And then for TikTok, it is bromance underscore pod. So if you guys want to give your boy a follow, that'd be cool. I'm going to be posting a lot more on there. I'm not going to be posting on my Instagram stories as much. So that's it. Appreciate everyone who's watching. Peace.